Hello, welcome to me being 20 minutes late, but that's okay. Look at this recovery, guys. A 5% recovery. We're currently $98,000 for Bitcoin. Pretty good. Super trend has flipped back to bullish. We are still technically, though, within this range, as I mentioned. What would be important is breaking that 100,000 mark. This, though, has to change from 5 to 5. Technically, okay, we haven't really broken the super trend, but you get the idea. We're on our way back up. FTX, maybe it's making its effect by now. That's practically what we did want to see. You know what, I'm going to keep this here instead. I think it's pretty neat to see. I made a couple changes here. Look at that. This little indicators at the bottom. It looks really cool in my opinion. I'm happy about it. Just those tiny things make me smile. I have been doing some... still some backtesting, right? And I actually wanted to start off this stream with a question. And I don't know how to pose the question, but I'm going to try to ask it anyway. Let's go to... man, Polygon is probably a horrible example. But trust me with where I'm going with this. Okay. Right here. Drop me to like $100. Okay. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm using Polygon because I'm starting to dislike Polygon, but that's besides the point. I want to prepare the scene here for you guys. Drop this at $100. Text, white, 10, 100. Correct. And also put this in the center, middle, center. There you go. So that's $100 for Polygon. I'm going to copy paste this twice. First one is going to be 110. And the other one is going to be 190. Not 190, sorry, just 90. 110 is up there, $90. So I'm going to draw that out right now. Whoops, there you go. And this is the scale on how I want to draw what I'm about to draw. Okay. Oh man, how do I want to start this? How do I want to start this? First of all, okay, I'm going to lock these as well in place. You'll see why I'm doing this, okay? It's really, really important. Okay. Something costs $100. Let's just say, for instance. Now, you purchase $1,000 of this $100 asset, right? You put a stop loss down here, and you put a take profit. No, you don't really put a take profit here, because I want to use this as kind of like a trailing stop loss. So this is the scenario that I'm going to draw for you guys. So, okay, $1,000 is what you've invested in here. Can I write 1,000? Right there. Now, what my issue is with this, I'm planning to, this has to do with like the backtesting strategies and stuff like this. And I have ChatGPT open ready to answer this question, but I still have to figure out a way to ask this. I've been lingering on this for too long. So if we get the price to drop over here, how much money would this be? Well, $900. Correct? Why? Because you lost $10 per share. You bought 10 shares. I'm saying shares, but realistically, yes, they would be coins in whatever case. If it drops down there, you're at 900. If it rises, however, up here, you make 1,100. Okay, makes sense. $10 difference. You make $100 based on whether or not it rises or drops. So that's where you're at in terms of this. Okay, that part is clear. Now, what I want to do is get a trailing stop loss. I'm going to just draw another flat line. Come on. Yeah, there we go. Get a trailing stop loss in here. How would you make your trailing stop loss work if this wasn't the case, if the price simply just went upwards, right? How am I going to draw this? I hope I don't confuse with too much lines. But this is what I'm trying to get at. Okay, so if price goes up to 1,100, okay, cool, you've made $100. But this is a 1-to-1 risk-reward ratio, correct? Like, you got something like this going on. Oh my god, that's so tiny. Never mind. What just happened? Okay. I pressed page down instead of delete, I guess. So you got something like that going on. What do you do here? There's two things that you could do. One is you take partial profits, which is something that I've kind of deep down always been against, for whatever reason. But if that was the case, okay, you made $100, right? That belongs to you now. And here you're back to your original $1,000 position. Now, from this percentage, there's a difference now because you've taken out $100 and now you've got 1,000 still invested in this area. What you could do is, I mean, if you keep your stop loss down here still, which is risking another 100, and if this drops here, I mean, you're technically going to lose your $100 because this would now become your 900, right? Oh my god, am I explaining this right? I hope I am. And then, yeah, because you got these two, which would equate to the 100. I mean, the 1,000. Oh my gosh. If price drops back down to $100, right over here, yeah, you would technically be at... God, how do I explain this? At a break even? No. Okay, this is what I wrote down in ChatGPT. I basically wrote that same stuff down. So I have a hypothetical trading question. Let's say, for example, I enter a trade on an asset at the price of $100, set my stop loss at the price of 90, which is what I drew over here. You would lose money there. And you put down $1,000 on this trade. It means you're risking $100 if your stop loss gets hit, which is correct. There's a $100 difference right over here. The exit strategy for a profit would be to ensure the risk amount of $100 is no longer an issue if the asset has gone up in value and the price is higher. So what this means is if price is now up here, okay, well up here, of course, you made $1,100, right? 1,100. And if you increase your stop loss up here now, you would now go back to your original 1,000 here. Okay, that makes sense, right? You're making 100 extra dollars. Now, the question would be, what would be the better way to set up a trailing stop loss in this scenario? So if the price rises to 110, you take a partial profit of $100 and you keep the position open with the rest. What did I mean? What? Okay. You take a partial profit of $100 and you keep the position open with the... And you keep the position open with the rest of the asset, right? Because here, you know how you're buying like 10 coins? Well, now this would be 9 point something coins because you had to take out that point something to take out a difference of $100, whatever that percentage is. I'm too lazy to do the math, but I think you understand what I mean. I believe this would eliminate the risk factor because from my understanding, if the price drops and hits the stop loss at 90, you would also lose that $100. But since you already took a partial profit of $100, you would break even at $0 and keep the trade open to gain more potential profits, and you can add a trailing stop loss of $10 difference to let the price continue rising, potentially capturing more gains. Man, I don't even know if I'm making sense with this. It's getting a little crazy. But I'm going to get to the bottom of this, and I wanted to do it live for some strange reason. I really don't have much else to talk about, so. The other scenario is if the price rises to $110, you don't take your partial profit of 100. You keep the trade open. You could gain more potential profits and add a trailing stop loss of $10 to let the price continue rising, potentially capturing more gains. Okay, so what I mean by this, I'm kind of getting a better understanding of what I'm trying to say now. You have 10 coins, right? Because that's how much you were able to purchase at this level. Once you make it up here, you can do two things. You sell one of the coins, which means now you have 9 coins. Now, if this continues rising, this is where the magic happens, okay? If this continues rising, you can put a trailing stop loss however far you want. Doesn't really matter. Come on, let me grab this. I can't grab this anymore. There we go. Okay, I'm just going to leave this here. I'm going to draw another line. So let's say you got this going on. Of $10, I said. So this is $10 of a trailing stop. The bottom part means, you know, price could go up like this. And if the price comes back down, hits this area, it will hit a stop loss over here. Now, because you took $100 out, the 10 now becomes 9, and you got $1,000 here. I'm not sure if this is necessarily the case, so I'm just going to ignore it for now. But you have 9 coins that will be increasing potentially in profit like this, right? With a trailing stop of 10, of course. Either you can do that, or the other scenario would be you don't do this 9-100 thing. You keep your 10 coins, so you'd have 1,100 again. And you can continue increasing with 10 coins, which of course would mean more profit because you're getting one extra coin that is making you an extra $10 for every dollar that it grows, because it's you spent 1,000 to buy $100 worth of the coins, which gives you 10 coins. Man, it's so complicated, but trust me, there's magic behind this. Now, there's also the topic of the stop loss here, okay? So your original stop loss was down here. If you still have your 10 coins, and you put your stop loss here now, instead of down here, so you moved it up, this no longer exists, but you've got this. If the price drops over here, you're at a break even, right? Because you didn't sell anything. You just saw your asset increase to 1,100 up here. And then you just saw it decrease back to 1,000 down here. So nothing changes. If this hits $100 again, and you have a stop loss on there, you're at a break even. You exit the trade with $0. Now, to avoid this from happening, though, you can do this thing right over here with you sell 9, you make one. You have 9 coins now. You made $100 from the increase in that. And if this drops back down here, you're essentially back at the 1,000, and you could close this position, but you've made $100. So that would work short term. And hey, you could even not put your stop loss here instead and see the price drop further. So here you're making 100 if this stops over here. Or maybe I'm reading this wrong. I don't know. You'd make some profit, right? Or if this drops to down here, you still made $100 up here. So this would now total to 1,000 once the price drops 90, meaning that this has more space to breathe, right? Before continuing to move up. And you can have that trailing stop loss follow it from whatever, from 90, right? And then increase like that. But like I said, you'd only be increasing with 9 tokens because you use that 100 to give it space. Man, it's so complicated to explain. I hope you're understanding the concept because it's so interesting to me. And I'm trying to put this into words and I can't. I have no idea how to describe it, and I don't know if AI will be able to answer this for me. But I'm going to try, okay? Okay. If price rises to 200, don't take a partial profit of $100. Keep the trade open to gain more potential profits and add a trailing stop loss of $10 difference. to let the price continue rising, potentially capturing more gains. From my understanding, if the price goes back to $100, oh my gosh, 100, you break even at 0 profit because it's the same as your entry point. You didn't take the partial profit when the price rose to 110. Okay, so that's one part of it. I want to refine what I talked about over here. If price roses to 110, you take a partial profit of $100. You keep the position open with the rest of the asset. Would no longer be 10. Do we call it shares? You would be buying 10 shares. Okay, I'll just use shares for this example. Would no longer be 10 shares. It would be less. I believe this would eliminate the risk factor because from my understanding, if the price drops and hits the stop loss at $90, you would also lose that $100. But since you already took partial profit of $100 when the price rose to 110, you would break even at $0 if the price hits 90. And keep the trade and you would have more room to keep the trade open to gain more potential profits, although it won't be with 10 shares anymore. To gain potential profit, although it won't be with 10 shares anymore. The purpose of this is to add a trailing stop loss of $10 difference to let the price continue rising, potentially capturing more gains. And then the second scenario is if the price rises to 110, you don't take a partial profit of 100. You keep the trade open to gain more potential profits. Add a trailing stop loss of $10 difference to let the price continue rising, potentially capturing more gains. From my understanding, if the price goes back to $100, you break even at 0 profit because it's the same as your entry point. You didn't take the partial profit when the price rose to $110. However, if the price does continue to rise, you still have your 10 shares, which would mean more gains than having the same price increases, but with 9 shares because one was sold in... Okay, I'm not going to describe that. You still have your 10 shares, which would mean more gains than having the same pricing. That's it. I'm not sure if I'm misunderstanding this concept. Could you help analyze and clarify which scenario would be best? Man, should I send this? The way I'm picturing it is either you sell a partial profit that would guarantee well, okay, either you sell a partial profit that would give you more space for the assets to fluctuate in price. It can range between the original stop at 90 and 110. Or with a potential lower return, or you increase the stop loss level to entry point, and then once it hits the 110, you could potentially capture more gains as you have more shares that could gain because you didn't partially sell. I think that's a better explanation, actually. Let's see what happens. Good luck. Oh my gosh. Look how much I typed. You're thinking about risk management and trading mechanics in a smart way. Both of the scenarios have merits, and the choice between them depends on your risk tolerance, strategy, and market conditions. Let's break it down. Oh my god. I just want to make sure if my scenario 1 is an actual thing, if it makes sense. Okay. Take partial profit at $110 and let the rest run. At 110, you sell a portion of your position, let's assume 1 share or $100 worth. You now have realized $100 profit, which covers your initial risk. You still hold 9 shares and your stop loss remains at 90, even though the price drops back to $90 and stops you out. Your break even overall, because the $100 loss on the remaining shares is offset by the $100 profit you already took. If the price continues rising, you can still gain more from your remaining shares. A trailing stop loss would allow you to further your gains while protecting the downside. Yeah, okay. It eliminates the initial risk after taking a partial profit, keeps the trade open to capture further upside, but reduces your exposure, and it also reduces your exposure in case of a reversal. The cons, if you have fewer shares remaining, so potential profits are lower if the price keeps rising. If the asset skyrockets, you miss out on gains from the shares you sold early. That's my dilemma. I don't want to sell those shares early, and I want to capture as much gains. And I don't know if it would be worth it to give it that amount of space for the price to fluctuate, back down to $90, because price could, like I said, it could do this freely, right? Instead of if I would put my original stop loss over here, it would just break even and then, continue rising, and I just missed out on all this profit, right? So yeah, that's kind of like the illustration of my dilemma. I'm sorry if it was really complicated, but really had to get this out of the way, and I'm still not done. The scenario 2 is there's no partial profit, you just move your stop loss up. At 110, instead of taking partial profit, you move your stop loss from 90 to break even, so $100. If price drops back to 100, you exit with no gain, no loss. If the price keeps rising, well, this is what this means, right? If the price drops back here, no gain, no loss, because it hits the stop loss there. If the price keeps rising, you have all the 10 shares that are working in your favor, which is a good thing. A trailing stop, so a $10 difference, ensures you lock in gains as the price moves up. Pros, it will maximize profit potential if the price keeps rising. Allows you to hold all 10 shares for bigger gains. No stop loss if the price drops to $100. No loss, I mean, yeah. The cons is that there's no guaranteed profit if the price falls back to 100, and more exposure if price reverses sharply. It actually is a dilemma. I don't know which one to choose from here. Because I was researching like trailing stops and backtesting strategies and all that, and I came across this scenario. I'm like, what would you even do here? And I'm like, this is just something that's worth talking about. Depends on the trading style. Risk appetite. If you prefer locking in profits and reducing risk, scenario 1 is safer because you secure a guaranteed profit while still allowing for upside. I kind of do like that. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of do like it. It's like a... Sure, it's like you're paying for like an insurance, but it's kind of coming in handy. The issue is that if, regardless of which scenario you pick, if you just enter this and it immediately goes to the $90 stop loss, I mean, you're losing regardless. For any of these two scenarios to work, it has to first hit that 110 mark in this scenario, right? And then it could either do one of two things. It could either do this, which would be optimal for scenario 1, right? Or it could do this, which is what scenario 2 is for, right? You have two options of putting your stop loss over here in the $100 or down here for break even. Your new break even is now down here, right? Man, it's just some crazy stuff. But yeah, cool. If you prefer maximizing potential gains, scenario 2 is better because you have all the 10 shares that would be working in your favor. Now, my question is, that one share, is it really worth it? Like, really? How much more could it make me, right? Well, $100 more in this case, but I don't know. The hybrid, oh, you could do a hybrid approach. Take partial profit at 110. Sell maybe 2 to 3 shares instead of just one. That would be like $300. What? But like, obviously some of that I'm getting back to myself, right? Move the stop loss to break even for the remaining shares and let the rest ride with a trailing stop. Some locked in profit and room for further gains. Not really. Okay, well, yeah, then this part at the bottom, deciding a formula or something to figure that out, I will be focusing on that later, so not right now. Anyways, that's all I wanted to share. I guess I skipped over all the other assets and what they're doing, but yeah, there you go. Bitcoin 98,000 looking good. Good pump today. Up 1.37%. Rest of the coins, pretty neutral. Sui has been having a great day, and it makes me smile because it's been pumping like crazy. $3.44. We're about to cross the 352 resistance that we got over here. So that's important. We're above the $3 mark as well, which is also great for Sui. Yeah, other than that, not much else to talk about for the coins. Let's get to some of the news. Remember Stephen King? He left Twitter because tried to stay, but the atmosphere has just become too toxic. This was like before Trump was elected. Oh no, after. It was after. Follow me on Threads if you'd like. Well, Threads is dead. He came back. Did we miss him? No, probably not. I don't think we care. Today we got initial jobless claims data, which came above what was expected, meaning that this is good for the economy because probably better chances of getting rate cuts. I think the chances of a rate cut in December slightly increased, but it's still looking like we're only getting one rate cut for this whole year. I don't have the specifics on me, but trust my word. Last time I'll be talking about this darn plane, the Delta plane. Apparently this was the woman who was piloting the plane. Her name is Kendall Swanson, was identified as the alleged pilot of Delta flight that crashed upside down in Toronto at the airport that I was at 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks now. She's 26-year-old female, just got certified as an airline transport pilot last month. DEI stuff, there you go. It's not good. This is just touching on Elon Musk possibly auditing all the money that was sent to Ukraine, because even this scenario when Zelensky claims that Ukraine only received around 75 billion of the almost 200 billion dollars that was sent from the United States under the Biden administration, what happened to that money? Where did it go? Who is lying? That's why we want Elon Musk to audit all that money that was sent to Ukraine. And it looks like he's going to get on it, so good for Elon. Of course, working with the Department of Government Efficiency there. Of course, all this drama where, you know, Zelensky, Ukraine in general, was just excluded from peace talks with, or like the ceasefire deal with Russia-Ukraine conflict. He's pretty upset about that, and I think he's starting to hate Trump, especially after the remarks that Trump had, practically calling him a dictator and saying that he's done a terrible job and has the lowest approval rating in the country, right, for being the president. So, Zelensky now has banned Trump's Truth Social platform nationwide in Ukraine. If you're in Ukraine, you can't access Truth Social. That's pretty funny. A little act of defiance there. There's also rumors about Elon Musk considering having the Department of Government Efficiency audits the Federal Reserve. Wow, they're going to get on Jerome Powell's case here to ensure he's doing a good job, I suppose. They really want him to cut rates because it'll make the Trump administration look better, of course. But, of course, we know that Jerome Powell will obviously not do that. He tries to work independently, regardless if there is a Democrat or Republican governing the office. So, yeah, him trying to stay neutral. He's just looking at the economic data and cutting rates whenever he sees appropriate. Does he make mistakes? Of course. We got a 50 basis point rate cut. Was it in July? Where people were scared and... yeah, that would... oh, it should have been a rate cut in July, but it wasn't. It was in September. A 50 basis point rate cut last year, which made people kind of panic and say, okay, are we getting a recession? It was after the August 5 crash that made everybody panic. So people were scared about that, and they had to emergency cut the interest rates. So there you go. We're going to wait and see on how that turns out. Jerome Powell for now. I guess he's just going to keep doing what he does, right? Looking at the economic data and then determining whether or not it's appropriate to get it to provide a rate cut. They really want to pressure him to do so, to improve the economy. But with the tariffs, it's going to be a little difficult. The inflation rising, etc. There was a CPAC event. If you don't know what this is, I don't know either. It's, well, it's a television channel. The Cable Public Affairs channel had Elon Musk and Javier Milei on. And Javier gave him a chainsaw. And that's what you see with Elon Musk's, yeah, there's a photo of it. Pretty cool. Because, of course, the iconic Javier Milei with the chainsaw slashing down costs of the federal government. Of course, it relates to what Elon Musk is doing in the United States. So it's just very fitting. Pretty neat. This is a chainsaw for bureaucracy, is what he said. That's pretty neat. And it's a real chainsaw, too, by the way. Some more Elon Musk drama as well. Grimes, one of his women, begs Elon Musk to respond about our child's medical crisis on Twitter. What's with the woman? Ashley St. Clair, Grimes now taking to Twitter to try to get Elon Musk's attention on their children now. She's also been saying that Elon has been ignoring her requests. I mean, he's a busy guy, but I mean, okay, well, yeah, you have children, you probably do have to watch over and everything, but whatever. Top story. This is pretty funny. Robert Garcia received a letter from the Department of Justice. This guy, apparently, I'm going to read you a bit of what the letter says. This comes from Edward R. Martin, Jr. Dear Representative Garcia, as United States Attorney for the District of Columbia, I receive requests for information and clarification. He takes it seriously. At this time, he requests that if this guy, Robert Garcia, could clarify what he commented on February 12, 2025 during a live interview with CNN when he was asked how Democrats can stop Elon Musk. He said, "What the American public wants is for us to bring actual weapons to this bar fight. This is an actual fight for democracy." Okay, is that a death threat, or why would he say something like bring actual weapons to this bar fight? That's a pretty suspicious thing to say, right? Says that it sounds like some kind of threat to Mr. Musk and to the government staff who work for him. And they're saying that that's what they call him, a dick. Their concerns have led to this inquiry. We take the threats against the public officials very seriously. We're looking forward to cooperation. Thanks in advance. Please respond by February 24. If you have any questions, contact. All the best. Wow. You better watch what you say. But, okay. Okay, is it... Then it comes into play, the question about free speech. Is it free speech? Is it hate speech? Is this allowed? You're threatening somebody, and it's somebody who is important, right? I don't know. Well, they asked him for clarification either way. He could have been joking. We don't know. FBI Director Kash Patel. That's right, guys. Kash Patel has been officially confirmed as director of the FBI. Here he is giving his thanks and history on the FBI, his mission, etc. So this is what the cabinet is looking like so far from Donald Trump. We got the Secretary of Treasury being Scott Bessent, really good. Marco Rubio, Secretary of State, obviously doing a great job. Going to Saudi Arabia to discuss the diplomatic relations with Russia and stopping the war in Ukraine, etc. RFK Jr., Secretary of the Health and... I keep forgetting what HHS is. HHS, meaning Health and Human Services Department. Pete Hegseth, Secretary of Defense. Great. Howard Lutnick, Secretary of Commerce. I discussed him yesterday. He looks like he's pushing forward getting those tariffs in play and abolishing the IRS to stop the income tax. That'll be pretty neat. Pam Bondi, Attorney General, doing a great job as well. Kash Patel, FBI Director, who just got confirmed. Everybody likes that. And Tulsi Gabbard, of course, my favorite. Director of National Intelligence. Well-deserved. Used to be Democrat, converted to Republican. Helps Trump with the campaign. Doing a great job. Nice. There's also forecasts of other stuff. Whatever. We don't need to know about that. Trump reverses protections for 520,000 Haitian migrants, making them eligible for deportation. This, if you don't know what this is about, I guess it comes from they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats, they're eating the pets of the people in Springfield, Colorado? No, Ohio? Yeah, Ohio. Apparently there's a lot of Haitian migrants in Ohio, and, well, they're eligible for deportation now under this. Good for them. Trump proposes as well 25% tariff on Canadian lumber and forest products. Is Ethereum made of aluminum? Probably not. Oh, Ethereum's been pretty flat, hey? Alright. That's just some Canada stuff. We have an NDP leader candidate who has dropped out of the race after an audio clip surfaces where she says, "I want to be a black woman." What is she, transracial now or something? It's pretty funny. If you don't know, the New Democratic Party, well, Ontario, this province, is having their elections to get their new premier. Of course, we have Doug Ford currently in position and is going for re-election, which will likely be the outcome under the Conservative government, of course. Pretty sure he's Conservative, not Liberal. Then you got the Liberal Party, which is in shambles thanks to the federal government of Canada. being Justin Trudeau dropping out, resigning as Prime Minister, but still able to spend billions of dollars on proposing new national railways. But that's besides the point. Who is this NDP cabinet? Rachel Dolezal. No, this is a different woman. A white woman who wanted to become a black woman, and she went under a lot of surgeries and operations and stuff like that to become transracial is what they're calling it. There's also this other case of this UK guy from England wanting to become Korean because he's into K-pop and all that stuff, and he's done a lot of surgeries as well to try to look Korean. And at the end, I think he just regretted it all. It's I don't know what to think about this, but okay, she actually dropped out of the race just from this phrase, "I want to be a black woman." So you got to watch what you're saying, pretty much. Who is this? Ontario NDP candidate. I want to see who it is. Okay, from London, Ontario. What is her name though? Is it Marit Stiles? Marit Stiles? I'm gonna look that up. Marit Stiles. No, this is a different person. Leader of the official opposition of Ontario. Is that Liberal? No, she is NDP as well, but this is not the same woman. We're talking about this lady. NDP candidate. Oh, so she's not the leader then. She's just a candidate, I guess. That's coming from Ottawa. Oh, okay, so she's not as relevant as I thought then, if that is the case. Never mind. Never mind that. This is pretty based stuff. Former British Prime Minister Liz Truss says that we want the EOs that Trump signed in Britain. I don't know what this means. Search. End of support, entrepreneurial. No. EO meaning, oh my god. Meaning Britain? Is it Britain? Britain. Executive officer. Okay. So they want the executive officers that Trump signed in Britain. I have no idea what that means though. She wants drill baby drill, practically copying America. We want men banned from women's bathroom, women's sports, practically copying America. We want illegal immigrants deported, copying America. Tax cuts, Trump resolution in Britain. So she is very pro-Trump. She also wants Elon and his nerd army of muskrats examining the British deep state. Yep, these are the changes that we do need in the UK because it's not a good scenario there. Europe in general, it's just not great with a lot of this illegal immigration and I don't know, too much stuff going on. It needs a fix in the government. This this thing that is right here is a quantum computer chip from Microsoft, apparently. It's called Majorana 1. And here's all the details about it. No idea what it will do, but there you go. It exists, quantum computing chip. So, yeah. Maybe they'll crack the hash rate of Bitcoin and start mining like crazy. I don't know, that'd be finally pretty funny to see. Do you guys remember this thing? Humane is the company. They were selling itself to HP, Hewlett Packard, for $116 million, and they're shutting down their AI pin, bringing an end to a once hot startup that aimed to replace the iPhone and iPad its founders helped create. So this thing is something that you would put like in your breast pocket, right? On your shirt. You could just clip it on your shirt. And this thing right over here would project. It's like a projector, right? And you would use your hand to see that project. You'd use your hand like as a wall. If you hold your palm in front of you, you could see it there. And Marcus Brownlee, MKBHD, reviewed this gadget, I guess. He said it wasn't great, and because he's a very big influencer, a lot of people see that and say, oh yeah, it's trash, we're not going to buy it. And they ended up not buying it. And worst of all, it also came with a subscription in order for this thing to work, to get you like data on like, it's like a little internet service, I guess, right? Because it had to obtain weather stuff, all that kind of details, right? So you'd have to pay an extra subscription for that. It didn't connect to your phone, I don't think, properly. So it just turned out to be a big flop. And MKBHD, practically his review is what killed it, is what people are claiming, which is pretty funny. So yeah, now he's saying that it's time to finally cancel the subscription, which is pretty funny. So the company died. There you go. Review Keller. Okay, XAI came out with their new version of Grok. It's also coming to your phone. There's an app for Grok, which I have pre-registered for. It's on my Play Store if I go to Grok. Yeah, I'm pre-registered. It's by XAI. It's automatically going to install whenever it's available. You can still try it, though, on your browser. X Premium Plus and Super Grok users will have increased access to Grok 3, in addition to early access to advanced features like voice mode. It actually has a voice mode as well. It sounds pretty good. I've seen some demo clips about it. It sounds like you're actually just having a conversation with a human. Apparently it can sing, it can laugh, it can do all those emotion stuff, right? Kind of creepy, but it works, I guess. So the beta mode is out for free, which I have been trying while I have been doing some of the back testing. It works pretty okay. I mean, it's better than the other ones, of course. You can ask it like new stuff. It's nothing new, right? We already know what AI can do. It's practically that, but just faster now. Is what it seems like. So impressive, nonetheless. Also, you could ask it questions like, why did Palantir stock dip? Is it worth it to buy? They're calling it a classic overreaction, is what it said, and sent a 1-month price target of $118, for example, on Palantir stock, which is, if you don't remember, it's something that dropped like crazy. I don't remember if it was yesterday or the day before. The CEO apparently sold off much of its shares, causing the price to dump. If I go to Palantir stock right now, is it on its way back to recovery? I think it was still dropping. Oh, I'm going to wait for this to load. There we go. Yeah, it's kind of slowed down the drop. And they're setting their 1-month price target to 118, which is right about over here. Oh, hey. I didn't draw that. That just drew itself. Yeah, this is your new price target. 118. Let's see how accurate that is. I want to see. If that's the case, I'm going to start asking it for, like, financial advice. No, it tells you at the bottom, though, like, this is not a... Yeah, right over here, right? Disclaimer, Grok is not a financial advisor. Consult one. Don't share info that identifies you. There you go. But it's still very intelligent, very smart, and I'm proud for that. Ben Zhu from Bybit. If you guys remember that time when we had a massive liquidation event, this was due to tariffs on February 2nd. We saw dips like this, right? We had websites that track liquidations like CoinGlass that would tell you guys, oh, this amount of money was liquidated off all the markets. But, you know, some of the CEOs, for example, like from Bybit, was checking this stuff out and said, this doesn't quite make sense because on our platform alone, Bybit, it's already like more than half of that number. And it's not a big exchange compared to like Binance or Coinbase or whatever. So he took the initiative, I guess, to start digging into this a bit further and said that he would publicize all the liquidation data that the exchange has, right? So that other websites like CoinGlass or whatever would have all more, what would you call it? They would have more accurate data, right, on the amount of liquidations that are going on. So there it is. You see the exchanges. You got Binance, OKX, Bybit, HTX, BitMEX, CoinEx, Bitfinex, Gate.io, etc. It tells you how many shorts and longs get liquidated. Recently, it's... When is this? Does it tell you the date? The day is there, February 20. Okay, it seems like the number is bigger, but it's the K. That's for HTX. Seems like more longs. How are more longs getting liquidated and the price is rising? That just goes to show the amount of too much leverage going. Why does BitMEX have no long liquidations? Stuff like that. Maybe they're waiting to access that data. That might just be the case. 'Cause surely there's a couple thousand that are liquidated at least, right? So, yeah, anyways, stuff like that. Bybit is now participating in pushing all liquidation data. Oh, and it tells you right here, this is the update. February 2nd, they're saying that over $2 billion liquidated in just 24 hours. It's more than COVID crash and FTX implosion. But he said it's a lot more than that. By my estimation, it should be around $8 to $10 billion. Why? Because on Bybit alone, it's $2 billion. So that can't be right. If all the exchanges combined $2 billion and $2 billion is only from Bybit alone, that doesn't make sense. Surely it's around $8 to $10 billion liquidation. So he checked out the information on CoinGlass from Bybit, which it does publicize that data. It does publish that data, sorry. But it only showed 333 million, which is not correct. He said it's 2 billion. So moving forward, Bybit will start to push all liquidation data. Believing in transparency was his main deal. And as promised today, it's official. The transparency is there. Good for Benzu. He also made a comment on this new project that I have been hearing quite a lot about called Pi Network. PI. This right over here. People are saying it's a scam, it's suspicious, etc. They're actually starting to spread some FUD for some reason. I want to check this profile. Not followed by anyone I'm following. They're claiming that Bybit official is gradually losing its position in the cryptocurrency market when they called out the CEO, so Ben from Bybit, posted a bad post about Pi Network after being rejected by Pi to list on this exchange. Wow, what a claim, right? They're practically saying that Bybit reached out to this project, Pi, saying, hey, let us list your project on our exchange. It'll be cool. And apparently, according to this post, Pi said no. And so, because Pi said no to Bybit, Bybit is now making false accusations against this little project, saying, oh, they're a terrible project and all that stuff, putting a bad post out. Which Benzu came out and said, no, that is not the case. Here's official police warning of Pi from Chinese police back in 2023, warning to the public that it's a scam targeted towards elderly folks. So Pi Network it's actually a scam then. It leaks personal data and loss of their pension. There's multiple other reports out there questioning the project's legitimacy. Apparently as well, there's another claim. Bybit had made no listing requests to Pi, and the claim that Pi refused Bybit listing, or Bybit did not pass some sort of KYB of Pi, is complete nonsense. So he's just saying, whatever you're claiming is absolutely false. If the project is legitimate and straight up, then you should come forth and address these reports so everyone can understand. But instead you choose to make stuff up and do these childish attack with no ground. And point number 4, yes, I still think you're a scam, and no, Bybit will not list a scam. Wow, what a based response from the CEO. So yeah, don't buy Pi. OBS disconnected. Is my Wi-Fi okay? Okay, reconnected. Am I still live? It says my connection is excellent. Hello? Oh yeah, don't buy Pi. OBS disconnected. Okay, so I think it skipped a couple stuff according to that. Get out of here. What I was talking about is this. BlackRock owning 1.34 million Ethereum, which is worth $3.63 billion. I don't see a lot of inflows, though. And it's saying that they own $4 billion. Almost, I guess. Sure. They do have the largest holding out of the rest, that's for sure. Grayscale, of course, has been the only seller of Ethereum. Not a lot of inflows, though, is what I've been pointing out. Same for Bitcoin. Not a lot of inflows. What happened 17th of February? I was President's Day, right? Yeah. So markets were closed. Nobody's buying anything. No inflows yesterday from from the BlackRock. Couple of outflows, actually. It's been mainly outflows. Today, so far, there's $252 million in outflows. Regardless, though, we still have the price of Bitcoin rising, which means retail is starting to get in on that action. Or it could just be, you know, FTX repayments, which is what I have marked over here anyways. That could just be the case as well. Nigeria against Binance. They filed a lawsuit against them, seeking $79.5 billion in economic damages and an additional $2 billion in back taxes for 2022 and 2023. I don't know exactly what this means, but man, they really want money, Nigeria, from Binance. Oh, well, we'll see what Binance does. Speaking of Binance, another reason why I did want to bring this up. Oh, they're saying that it's economic damages and unpaid taxes. That's what it's from as well. So I didn't get my Binance account approved for whatever reason, even though I gave them my KYC information from a country that is valid and is not in a restricted region. Maybe it is because I'm in a restricted region right now. But come on, I also live in another region that is not restricted. What are you going to do about it? I'm just visiting this region. I'm not from here. Maybe I am. But yeah, that's all I have for today. 56 minutes stream. That's crazy work. I saw this article on my phone that I'm going to read as well. Has something to do with GameStop CEO fuels Bitcoin speculation. There could be a $4.6 billion buy incoming. That'll be interesting. GameStop purchasing $4 billion worth of Bitcoin. We would be thankful for that. They also wanted to get out of Canada market. CEO Ryan Cohen has, for the first time in nearly 4 years, followed a second account on X. Until now, Cohen exclusively followed the official GameStop handle, but as of today, he has added Bitcoin Magazine to his follow list. Okay, that is pretty significant news. What's this guy's name? Ryan Cohen. Okay. Ryan Cohen. Is my Wi-Fi bad? I'm assuming it's this guy. It is this guy. I remember the profile picture. So he's following 2 people only, okay? One is GameStop, and the other is Bitcoin Magazine. Like, what are the odds of that, guys? This is sparking some interest here. Wow. This comes on the heels of a much-discussed photograph that surfaced 2 weeks ago showing Cohen with Michael Saylor standing next to MicroStrategy, Mr. MicroStrategy himself. There was an image of that. Can I find it? Oh, it's literally this image right here. Load image, please. Why is my Wi-Fi bad? Why do I pay you money? Okay, I really don't even have to click on this, do I? I could just go to post and it's right here. I don't understand what the point of loading the image is. But there you go, right? Ryan Cohen, Michael Saylor from MicroStrategy, from Strategy, I mean. Like, come on. Following Bitcoin Magazine. GameStop is going to buy Bitcoin, guys. $4 billion? My God. You're not bullish enough. Yeah. Yeah, rumors. GameStop has around $4.616 billion in cash, cash equivalents, and marketable securities as of October 31st, 2024. I don't think they wasted $4 billion in 3-4 months. I could check something. Company's market cap. Search for GameStop. You can see the cash on hand right here. Oh my gosh, they do have $4 billion. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Guys, I just made a big discovery. That's just insane work. If GameStop were to invest its $4.6 billion cash reserves into Bitcoin, it would acquire approximately 48,000 Bitcoins. Do you know how much that is? Top 10 Bitcoin holders. List. Come on. I think this is where I saw it. Okay, it's not too crazy, but he would be, I would say maybe the top 50 if GameStop purchases $4 billion. Because you got number 20 Gemini, 71,000 bitcoins at 6.4 billion. GameStop would have 48,000 bitcoins, which, to give you an idea, that's the amount of bitcoins that Germany had, about 50,000 bitcoins, in which when they were selling like practically every day back in, what was it? I'm on Bitcoin right now. It was in like June, July. They're making the price crash like every day. Like all this dumping from here, it was, well, this one was recession fears, but this dump right over here, I remember clearly July, June, July. That was thanks to Germany selling. What are these lines? Why do the lines look like that? Oh, okay. Looks weird if you zoom out. If you zoom in, these lines look really cool. ADX and ATR. Nice. But yeah, like, okay, just to give you an idea how much of an impact that could cause on the price of Bitcoin. This could easily push us to above 120,000. Maybe. Okay. What else does it say? It would make GameStop the second largest corporate holder of Bitcoin, surpassing Mara Holdings, but still behind MicroStrategy. Okay, that makes sense. And oh my gosh, he's obviously like this photo, guys. The top company that holds Bitcoin is MicroStrategy. I think his influence is passing on to Ryan Cohen from GameStop. Big meme stock itself, right? For a while, thanks to Roaring Kitty. This would make GameStop number 2 in terms of a company that holds the most amount of Bitcoin. It would put him in second place. Third place would be Marathon Digital Holdings, which is a mining company for Bitcoin. If I look up Mara Holdings, yeah. And their stock has, I don't know, not been doing quite that well, right? Man, I analyzed this ages ago. Looked like it was going well until it dropped. What day was this? Oh, well, August. Yeah, of course. That's when crypto everything dropped, of course. Their price is quite reliant, I would say, on the movement of Bitcoin as well. So you're going to see some similarities there. But, I mean, it's dumped pretty hard. It's had bad earnings. It's coming up with new earnings as well. February 26th, next week, Wednesday. Hopefully it doesn't keep going down. But also, like, because the company, you got to keep this in mind, because a company holds Bitcoin, it doesn't make them like a really successful company. Sure, it'll pump the price because it's dependent on the movement of Bitcoin, but what are they going to do with that Bitcoin, right? It's just there to hold. Sure, I mean, anybody else could just straight up buy Bitcoin and hold onto it. But if they were using that Bitcoin to, like, I don't know, improve their company, expand their services, hire more employees, something, right? Reinvesting that money into themselves, then that would, you know, obviously turn out in positive earnings and stuff like that. And give a better return for investors who are inside of that stock, right? The stockholders. But I don't think that's within their scope of what these people want. Talking mainly about MicroStrategy. If GameStop decides to do this as well, Coinbase and Robinhood is a different story because they make money off of commissions. It all depends on the popularity, of course, of crypto. That's when people would be buying it or not. You see Robinhood is here and Coinbase is here. I don't know why Coinbase is top. I don't think it is. Satoshi, Nakamoto, Binance is up here. BlackRock. These numbers surely have increased. This is as of November 2024. Wow. Wow, big discovery for GameStop, guys. Yeah. Okay, well, I'm going to end it here then. That's all I have for today. Hope you guys found some insight from this. I'm going to keep breaking my brain with this trailing stop thing. And I'll let you know how that goes. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Take care. See you tomorrow. Yes, I have to do chores.